First, we're gonna start off with some primer. I am just using a natural primer. You can just use moisturizer, and then we're gonna blend it all over our face and then let it dry so it doesn't start pilling after like we put on like foundation and all that stuff. Then we're gonna put some concealer, obviously putting it like under the eyes and then right where the eye ends, like lifting it up so it snatches the makeup. Then we're gonna do it on our cheeks, our chin, and our forehead, and then we are gonna blend it all out with the beauty blender. Then using a contour stick, we're gonna put it on our forehead. I do forehead contour, you don't have to, but my forehead is really big, so I do that, as well as on my cheekbones up, and obviously as the same with the concealer, we're lifting up our face. Then on the side of the nose, like the bridge of the nose on both sides, as well as the tip of the nose, and then a little bit higher so it creates a button nose. Then we're going to buff it out with the beauty blender so the lines aren't as harsh before we set it with the powder. Since we used cream contour on top of it to set it in place, we're using a powder bronzer, and I'm doing it in all the same places that I used the contour stick: under the chin, on my cheekbones, on the nose, on the forehead, all of those places. Then blend it all out. Then we're going to put some blush. Obviously it's the same like peachy pinky type shade. I'm putting it on the apples of my cheeks and on my entire nose. Obviously I'm looking kind of like a fool because you need to smile in order to put it in the right places, but I just love blush to be really pink and like it just adds so much life to your face. Then the leftovers, I'm just putting it on my eyelids to just add a little bit of pinkiness on there. Then to make sure the color is not too harsh, I'm just blending it all out with a beauty blender. Then finally we're gonna add foundation with a brush and just put it under the eyes, under the blush, on the chin, under the nose, next to the nose, on the forehead. This, like, we do this in order to avoid making the makeup look cakey and to stop it from pilling, because normally what I've found is when I do put foundation after concealer and then add all the other products, it starts to look really cakey and bad, and so this is the way I found to avoid it. Obviously when we're putting the foundation under the eyes, we're obviously lifting it. And then we all blend it out with a beauty blender so it's not as harsh and it looks like skin and not like makeup. Then I'm adding some more blush because I love blush and it didn't look as pinky as I wanted it to look. And then for eyeshadow, we're gonna use this pinky nude type color and we're gonna put it all over our eyelid. You can use any pinky nude. I'm using from this palette, but it just is like something that will make your eyelids pop basically. And then with an angled brush, we're going to use like a mauve type color to put it just under the brow bone to add some definition to the eye and just add some darkness. And then to make the eyes not as intense, we're going to use a darker nude on top of the entire lid just to seal in all the colors that we already put on the lid. And then with a small brush, we're going to take this gold sparkly shade and put it on quarter of our eyelid and like half of our eyeball to just add a nice little shimmer and to tie in with the glam theme. And then we're going to set the face with the powder, so I'm doing it under my eyes, obviously lifting, and then under my blush, on my chin and on my forehead. The gold sparkles weren't showing up, so then I just started using my finger and it just became much more noticeable and much more sparkly, but it turned out well using my fingers, so I would definitely recommend if you're recreating this, use your fingers instead of a brush. And then we set it with the setting spray, and while we wait for it to dry, we are just going to do the lip liner for the lips. I'm using this berry nude type color on my bottom lip as well as my top lip, since I don't like my cupid's bow. I'm going above it and I'm just doing a little bit inside, and then I'm blending it with my finger. What I would recommend, you could do whatever lip you want, but if you are wanting to recreate this, the gold eyeshadow that you use to put on your eyelid, I would recommend not rubbing it off and using it to blend out the lip liner, because then it created this nice gold red nude type thing that looked really pretty. Then we're going to put a pink lip gloss on top of it and just blend it all out, and it just came out with this nice little ethereal, beautiful pink sparkly look. Then we're going to put mascara on the eyelashes. I only do the top eyelashes because it makes, like when I do both, it makes me look like a spider, but you do whatever you want to do. And then we set it in place with some more setting spray. It started to get in my eyes, so that's why it kind of looks like I'm crying here, but in reality I'm not. But since it's all like wet and we're waiting for it to dry, I used a beauty blender to set everything in place and make sure that everything's not as harsh and it's all well blended, and the setting spray kind of makes all the products more malleable to move around on your face. Well, here is the finished look. It's just glowy and dewy and just glam central. I loved how it turned out. If you do want to recreate this, it would be fun for a party or just like a casual brunch, but I hope you enjoyed. Bye and see you soon.